Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed my chat with Miriam. Either you're an undergraduate or a graduate, I think that you should watch that chat. I think that there is a lot you can learn from applying to global opportunities. Honestly, I'm mid-career right now and I'm still very open to exploring global opportunities. And there were like a couple of things that she said that even spoke to me personally because I realized I've not put a lot of effort into like exploring international opportunities for different reasons, to be honest. Anyway, today we'll be discussing HR again, and don't worry, it's not deep. I'm not teaching anything deep. So I'll tell you why I'm doing this video. I was with my friend, one of my friends, Michael is from my friend. You know that Michael is my friend. And it was very interesting because we were just gisting. I think we were just finished playing Monopoly. And I don't know if the person is his friend or not. The person actually called him and the person was filling an application. And in the application, she had seen a question that said, "What is your notice period?" And she was clueless about what notice period meant. So let me ask you, you that you're watching, what's the notice period? And so Michael just gave the phone to me that don't worry, I'm with your favorite HR buddy, who's the baddest guy in HR, and he would explain what notice period meant. And while I was explaining notice period, I was saying, oh, if your company accepts in lieu, and like the person was like, what is in lieu? And I realized that there are a lot of HR terminologies that we HR professionals just use casually, and we just assume that people know, and people don't actually know them. I've been in HR conversations, career chat, and people just casually throw words around. Quiet quitting. Oh, I have a staff that is currently quiet quitting. I'm scared that she would drop her resignation tone, and in your mind you're like, what is quiet quitting? So today we'll be talking about HR terms you would find very interesting. Are you ready? This is where you take a break, grab water as usual, or cook, or whatever you take.
2, 3.
Okay, let's start. Yeah, so the first one is notice period. I'm going to be defining notice period. So number one, notice period. Notice period is really that time that you give your employer as a notice. It's literally notice and period, or period of notice. It's a time that you give your employer, or you inform your employer about the fact that you're moving to another company. I'm looking for the simplest way to put it. So if you've signed a contract before, and yes, you should watch out for these things in your contract, you will see a clause that talks about notice of termination. And under the clause that talks about notice of termination, you would see the notice period. For some people, it's 1 month. If your notice period is 1 month, for example, it means that you have to tell your employer at least 1 month if you are going to be leaving. So you are working with, let me use companies I love. You are working with Paystack today. I love Paystack. Please tell them to hire me. Call them. Yeah, so you're working with Paystack today, and then from Paystack you're moving to Netflix. Netflix is another company I love. And when Netflix says, what's your notice period? If it's today is the day I'm shooting this video, is like 10th, of September. If your notice period is 1 month, that means that the earliest possible time you can reach out to Paystack, you can move to Netflix, is 10th of October. That's if your notice period is 1 month. Now, for some roles, it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months. For some roles, there could be something called garden leave, which I will explain later. No, it is not garden leave. It's not the leaf you get. It is gardening leave, right? So, but what you should take away is that notice period is the period of time that you have to inform your employer that you are leaving the company. Now, most companies have something called in lieu, which means that you can say, I'm leaving in 1 month's time, or you can pay a 1 month equivalent of the salary, which is the next concept I will be explaining. In lieu. What does in lieu mean? In lieu, so I think it's a French word, or a French or Italian. I probably have found out by the time this is being published. I'm probably add a screenshot here. So in lieu, literally in notice, right? So if you notice, some companies have that contract. So when it's a notice of termination, they say 1 month or in lieu. What this means is that if you are leaving us, you can either tell us 1 month before you leave, or you can pay us 1 month's salary, right? So a couple times, for some recruiters opt to pay that in lieu. This is what I mean. I'll use Paystack and Netflix again. So your notice period is 1 month. Remember, we've defined notice period, but the contract also has an in lieu. What this means is that you can tell Netflix that you people, with Paystack, my notice period is 1 month. However, if you have money, I can pay that 1 month equivalent so that I'll start working with you on Monday, like immediately. So some recruiters actually offer to pay that in lieu because they are trying to save time. Right, so now we have a full understanding of notice period and we have a full understanding of in lieu. So the next time you are filling an application, you see what's your notice period. You can put 1 month. If it's 1 month, you can put 2 months. For some roles that are like contract or probation, it's some companies put 2 weeks. That means that you have to inform the company 2 weeks before you disappear. So you Gen Zs, again, sorry I'm coming for you guys, but like, no, it's not just Gen Z, people do it a lot. That you just drop laptop and disappear. The company can actually sue you if you signed an employment contract. So we've talked about notice period, we've talked about in lieu. I have mentioned gardening leave, so I'm just going to speak to gardening leave. Yes, it is not garden leave, it is gardening leave. A leave you take to garden. Okay, so no, that's not what garden leave means, guys. So garden leave, it's a leave that you take or that the company gives after resignation before you move to another company. It was a UK concept and it was used in the manufacturing and IP sector, majorly to protect intellectual property or to protect transfer. So garden leave is given for 2 reasons. The first one, which is like the most known one, is to protect intellectual properties. For example, you are moving between 2 competitors. Say you are moving from GE to Siemens or from Siemens to GE. Siemens can say, hey, yes, you're resigning, but you're going to go on a 3 or 4 months garden leave so that this thing that you're working on, we would have launched it before you move to another company. The good thing about a garden leave is that the company will keep paying you. So you can be on garden leave. So if your garden leave is 3 months, the company still pays you for that 3 months, right? But you cannot join another company or you cannot work with another company in a professional capacity until you are done with the gardening leave. The second reason why some companies give garden leave is to maintain transfer of knowledge. So yes, you have resigned, right? And so some people resign and they don't go to another job immediately. They resign and they go on holiday. So the person has resigned, so the person does not have to do like the day-to-day activities again. They, however, keep the person on the payroll, very important because money is important. But they also keep the person in the system in case someone needs a transfer of knowledge. Let's say the employer that was resigning was working on a core major project, and yes, they've done all the official handover and documentations, but they just feel like the person might still have some knowledge that is useful to the company or to the department. Sometimes organizations put a staff on gardening leave for that purposes. So the next time you hear gardening leave, please don't think about leave away. It's just a leave that you go on where the company, pays for your leave for 2 purposes: to prevent a non-competition clash or to maintain transfer of knowledge. So we've talked about notice period, we've talked about in lieu, we've talked about gardening leave. Next, we are going to talk about quiet quitting and quiet firing. And I am sure that you guys have experienced this, or you are probably doing this to your employer. Yes, you are doing this to your employer already. Yeah. So quiet quitting is majorly what it means. You are quitting, but you're not quitting openly, you're quitting quietly. So you're coming to work, you're doing the bare minimum, you're just doing the basic things, you're not making extra efforts. Your mind, we say it's now, your mind is no more at that job. That's quiet quitting. And quiet firing is literally the opposite, from the employer side. So employer is not paying your salary as they should, or before they used to give you additional benefits and they don't give you anymore. Just things that sometimes they put unnecessary pressure on you. They increase your tax. Some people even put you on probation. And you're wondering, why are you putting me on probation? And you get a note that says formal warning over the most ridiculous things. They're basically saying, guy, we don't want you here, but we don't know how to sack you, right? So when you're frustrated, especially if you're a Gen Z, my fellow Gen Z is hello, that you don't like pressure, you just wake up and send in your resignation. So that way, they will not say they're the one that sacked you. They'll say you resigned, but it's a lie. They literally just fired you. Yeah. Okay. The next one I will be talking about is very interesting. So it's not a terminology we use a lot in Nigeria. We use in lieu, notice period, garden leave, quiet quitting, quiet firing in Nigeria. But this one, if you're a US, UK, American or European audience, I am very sure that you'll be familiar with this term. I doubt that in Nigeria will be familiar with this term, because the Nigerians I know, they don't say no to pecs. Punchline. The Nigerians I know, they don't say no to pecs. That's right. Okay. So the next term is anti-pecs. So we all know what pecs are. Transport allowance, free lunch, things, happy hour in the office, things like that. Guys, there's actually a term called anti-pecs. and there are employees who do not want perks. They just want to work and go. So this employee said no to lunch. So I was reading a story before I shot this video, like earlier today, about an employee that was a vegan. So he was working in a company that, of course, obviously serves lunch. But in Europe and America, like, vegans are not like the majority of the population. So it's very hard to, and it's like, you know, they are like full vegans, they are partial vegans. His peculiarity was so unique that it was not just like his. For example, I know that Eden, free adverts for Eden, guys. Yeah, and free adverts for the top I'm wearing. I got this top from TLK Luxury Merch. I'm going to link you in the description. So Eden, for example, Eden Meals, if you have not heard of Eden before, Eden Live, Eden, come and sponsor my video. You need to be sponsoring my video. I've given you PPL. So yeah, Eden creates meals. So if you're a tech bro, tech sis, etc., I have issues cooking, don't come on Twitter and be doing fighting up and down. Just book Eden, very affordable. They will deliver to your doorstep. Anyway, back to what I was saying. A place like Eden creates meals. They actually create meals for vegans. But this person's case was very unique. So it was not a complete vegan. That means he could eat some things, he could not eat something. So the company found it very difficult to provide lunch for him. And he also found it very difficult to keep giving the company feedback about the kind of lunch, you know, he wants. Another scenario that I know that if you're an HR professional you can connect with is people that belong to a certain sect of religion. You know, I don't want to mention them, you know, because I'm all for inclusion, but there's a certain religion that don't celebrate birthdays. So if you have an organization, like you have an organization and you have a culture of celebrating birthdays, maybe you send fruits to people on their birthday, you send cake, you send food, all those things are anti-perks to the person that does not celebrate birthday. So yeah, that's what anti-perk is, guys. I'm not sure that it's so popular in Nigeria. Anyway, yeah, the next one, if you're a law person, you would connect with this. Yeah, you're a law person or you work in a startup. Is also culture. So we say also. So there's actually an HR term called also culture. And like, you know, it's the idea that you have to work overtime to please your guys. Especially when you're not necessarily working overtime. You're just in front of your system, but you can't go home because the partner has not gone home. Or you're a junior associate and you can't go home because the senior associate has not gone home. You know, the concept is called also culture. Are you learning? Have you learned anything new so far? Oh yeah, let me know what you've learned in the comment section. Okay, so we're almost done. We just have like 2 or 3 more. Guys, there's a new terminology called green collar jobs. Yes, so just say green collar. Sorry, green collar jobs. So you know the white collar and the blue collar. But have you heard of green collar before? Of course you have not. That's why I'm here, to teach you as your favorite HR body. So a green collar job is a job that is focused on environmental sustainability. So we know that we are in an era where like sustainable development is, you know, priority and paramount, and companies are continuously committed to just, you know, maintaining a green environment. So in fact, now it's now becoming part of the employer branding initiatives that organizations pitch. I've not seen a lot of Nigerian companies do that, but I've seen a lot of American and UK companies do that. So you hear things like, are you ESG compliant? So like, are you environmental sustainability and green, you know, compliant? So green collar jobs are jobs peculiar to ESG initiatives. I really like this next one because it's very interesting. The title is, the name is Glass Cliff or Glass Cliffing, whatever. So we all know glass ceiling, right? Glass ceiling is the limitation that's been placed on people, on women specifically, to ensure that the women cannot reach some certain positions, women cannot do this, women cannot do that, women cannot earn beyond men. I wrote a couple LinkedIn articles last year about how, like, about the difference, the wage disparity due to gender between races. For example, I think the article I wrote in I don't know if it was 2021 or 2020. I wrote a lot of articles on LinkedIn. You should follow me on LinkedIn, Emmanuel Fit. Yeah. So I think I'd written an article that talked about the fact that it takes a black woman 271 days extra to earn what a white man earns in a year. So what a white man earns in 365 days, it takes about 630 days for a black woman to earn it, even if they are in the same role, right? So there are a lot of women, you know, fighting glass ceiling. Women are broken through and everything, and we are super delighted as an SDG advocate that I am that glass ceiling is breaking. But guess what? There is now glass cliff. What is glass cliff? Glass cliff is literally putting a woman in a critical position when there is a tragedy. So there is a company breakdown, there is a country breakdown. I'm very sure we all heard about what happened to the former Prime Minister of Britain last year, where she got a job and then she resigned. So people, the world or systems place women in very difficult positions or in a position where they have to manage the tragedy, so that if they are not able to manage that tragedy, they would say they are incompetent. Literally, that's what glass cliff is about. So just think of glass and cliff. Imagine being at the cliff of a glass. So it's the process of placing women in a situation that is very maladious, if there's a word like that, very terrible, and expecting them to manage their situation. If you read more about this, I was going to use really live examples, but I didn't have time to prepare. But if you just Google glass cliff and you put scenarios, you would read a lot of corporate governance issues, profitability issues, a company is going bankrupt issues, where companies actually hire a woman for the purpose of ensuring that the woman manages, the critical situation. Now, if the woman manages successfully, the woman is praised. And a woman doesn't, then, she's called incompetent, which I think is very bad. Anyways, at least now when you hear glass cliff or you see glass cliff, you know what it is. Lastly, or almost lastly, is digital nomad. I feel like I don't have to explain this. We all know what a digital nomad is, right? A digital nomad is majorly anybody that is a professional that is able to work from everywhere in the world. So people that are digital nomad just work from anywhere in the world with any company in the world. People like content writing, product marketing, content creators, a lot of people are digital nomads. In fact, very interestingly, you will not be surprised that they are now digital nomad visas. So countries are now being forward thinking. I wish that our own country was that forward thinking, to give people digital nomad visas where they can work in a country for 6 months and more year without necessarily having a permanent visa. So yeah, digital nomad. I want to be the digital nomad. Last but not the least, for now at least, because I had said I would just treat 10 terms, is moonlighting. I know it doesn't have to do with moon or lightning, but it's still moonlighting. So moonlighting is what we call side hustle, right, in Nigeria. So moonlighting is literally doing another job alongside the job you're doing. So I feel like, a larger percentage of Nigerians moonlight. It's not their fault, it's inflation, right? So for those that moonlight, you have to actually check your contract and be sure that there's no clause that says that you can't take another job. Some contract especially says that you can't do a competition role, but most contracts don't specifically say you can't take another job. But I have seen contracts where they specifically said that all your services and time must be devoted to the company alone. If you see something like that and you're moonlighting, you're on your own. Is there any other HR term I missed out that you would love the definition? Please put it on there. Again, remember the things I walked you through: notice period, in lieu, garden leave. Garden leave is not garden leave. Yeah, so gardening leave is gardening leave, right? I walked you through quiet quitting. Don't quiet quit your employer. Just drop your resignation. And if they are about to quiet fire you, don't let them quiet fire you. Just give them the resignation. Maybe in my next video I might talk about career plan, how to map out a career transition plan or an exit strategy. Maybe I'll do videos on that. But yeah, do not be quiet fired. Just resign. I talked about also culture, green color jobs, glass cliff, digital nomad, and then moonlighting. If there is any other HR term that you've come across before and you didn't know the meaning or you were confused about the meaning, please leave a comment down below and let me also know if there is any of the term that I had mentioned that you are just hearing for the first time. Very importantly, please share my video. May God bless your efforts. Like, subscribe, and share. Share it to your ex, to your enemies, to your frenemies, to your crush, within your WhatsApp community, your church members, everywhere. Let the YouTube, channel be everywhere. Of course, you've gained a lot of value. Don't you want to share with them? Now, click share. Till the next time, I still remember your friend, your lover, your crush, your favorite HR buddy. See you.